Hey, folks, it's Mark Arum. I hope you're enjoying the Mark Arum Show podcast. A reminder, you can hear this very radio show live Monday through Friday. We're live 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. It's a Monday. The bananas are here. I'm here. It doesn't feel like a Monday, though. It doesn't.
It does to me.
Does it? I'm in too good of a mood for this to be a Monday. Maybe it's because the president is being released from the hospital today at 6:30, and I bring that up because that's going to happen likely in the middle of the Mark Arum Show. So we're going to be shifting gears as soon as the president departs the Air Force Hospital. We will follow that and broadcast it live. So it's scheduled for 6:30, but these things never really go on time. So at some point, we're going to have to dump out of the regular program show, and we'll bring you the live update of the president going back to the White House. Obviously, big news there. And you mentioned, Chris Chandler just mentioned that at 8 p.m. we're going to have a special here on what's been going on with the president. I could not stop watching cable news, listen to the radio this weekend. Like, I've just been enthralled with that story. The leader of the free world getting COVID is crazy. Seems to be doing okay. And so at some point in this show, we're going to break away from regular programming, and we'll keep you posted as the president returns back to the White House. That being said, it is still Monday. We still want to have fun.
Let's play Millennial Match Game.
Thank you, Judd. Yeah, Millennial Match Game. She's back in the building, so now we get to use and abuse Randy from the digital desk. How are you, Randy Pants?
I don't want to be abused, but I'm all right.
I mean, not abused, but
Look, Randy's the best player that we have.
you are truly
Don't try to gas me up,
you
y'all.
are
the queen of Millennial Match Game. So it's great to have you back, and I love that we can just say, hey, Randy, come play Millennial Match Game. Hey, let's do this. Anyway, you have a good weekend?
I had a great weekend.
All right, fair enough. Let's meet our contestants on the phone. Don is in Buford. Don, welcome to the Mark Arum Show. Tell the folks at home a little bit about yourself.
I'm a 50-year-old man living in Buford, just chilling, working. Same old.
Sounds lovely, Don. Sounds lovely. All right, you're going to be playing Paul and Canton, little cross-county rivalry here. Paul, tell the folks at home a little bit about yourself.
I work in Buford, so I'm home from Buford.
Wait, you commute from Canton to Buford?
Yeah,
Holy smokes, how do you do that? What do you do?
early in the morning.
No, but do you go 70? Do you go 575 to 75, or do you cut across the north?
20.
You take Highway 20?
I generally cut across 20.
God bless you. Bless
20.
your heart, Esma. Yeah, wow. All right, so Don and Paul playing Millennial Match Game, as always, brought to you by our pals at Rocco's European Garage. This is going to be a tough, so for me, if I was playing Millennial Match Game, this would be a tough category, but this might be up Randy's aisle, so I don't know. Today's Millennial Match Game category are TV and movie fraternities and sororities. So, Don and Paul, you know what fraternities and sororities are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was Kappa Sig.
Oh, yeah, I'm a Sig Ep. So how about that? All right, so here's the deal.
There you go.
I'm going to tell you a name of a fraternity or a sorority, and then you guys have to guess whether or not Randy will know what movie or TV show they are from. So you don't need to know the answer. You just have to guess whether or not Millennial Randy will know. I'm not going to be able to offer much guidance here because I'm not going to know many of these.
Randy was in a sorority, right?
How old's Randy?
How old are you? You just turned...
30-something.
Yeah, she just turned 30-something. Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. So that gives you a time frame. All right.
Grease, brah.
Welks, man, I'm going to give you an example. This one doesn't count. So, Randy, you guys don't answer. I'm just going to ask Randy. Randy, Delta Chi Chi.
What I got to guess?
Delta Chi Chi.
I got to guess what TV show?
Actually, don't worry about that one. Let me give you another one. This example, Theta Nu Theta. Theta Nu Theta.
Theta.
What movie or TV show is Theta Nu Theta from?
That kind of, I want to say like Different World, but not sure.
Stomp the Yard.
Oh.
All right, so it's a tough one. This is going to be a tough category. I would not have gotten many of these. All right, so if Don, you're up. I skipped ahead. This fraternity sorority is Delta Tau Chi. Delta Tau Chi. Will Millennial Randy know what movie or TV show had a fraternity Delta Tau Chi?
I know, but I would say no.
Yeah, 100% no on this one. Delta Tau, Chi, Randy. What?
Now, who was that they said they knew? Who was the first person just guessed?
Don.
Don, and that's the one that was 50-something?
Don is 50, on the nose,
Okay,
living in Buford, living his best life.
So this has to be maybe an 80s movie or
Yes.
something. I'm going to take
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
What's the call again?
Delta Tau Chi. BTC. Don't worry, you're fine.
Was it
Don.
a college movie?
Yes.
In the 80s?
In the 80s, college movie.
Oh, man, I don't even know a college movie in the 80s. That's really, I have no clue. I want to say Back to the Future, but I don't think they went to college in there.
They did not.
Nah.
As a member of Delta Tau Chi. It's not gonna be an orgy. It's a toga party.
Animal House.
I wouldn't
Animal
have guessed the
House.
name, but I know that movie. Dang.
Yeah. This is a tough category. Millennial Match Game continues on the Mark Arum Show TV and movie fraternities and sororities editions. Paul, you're up. This TV or movie sorority or fraternity was called Phi Beta Gamma Frat. Phi Beta Gamma Frat. Will Millennial Randy know what movie or TV show that's from?
I don't think so.
Randy, do you know that? Phi Beta Gamma Frat.
You know, listen, what I know is real sororities and fraternities, okay?
Yeah.
Not these made-up names.
Maybe give her if it's a movie or a TV show. That might help.
Please, thank you.
You're so generous, Deborah. It's a TV show. This is a fraternity from a TV show. Phi Beta Gamma Frat. Phi.
Wonder Years.
Say anything, but you have nothing to worry about. You're in.
It's a black movie.
Word? Me and Colton got in. Well,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, my God. This is too hard.
It is. Listen, we're not holding you accountable, Randy. This is a tough one. Blame Deborah Green. She came up with this. All right, Don, here we go. TV, movie, fraternity, sororities. Delta Nu. Delta Nu. Will Randy know what movie this fraternity or sorority was in? Delta Nu.
I know, but no.
All right. Delta Nu, Randy.
I think that is Grease. No?
Delta
Oh, with Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
God dog it. Legally Blonde.
That is, I wouldn't have gotten that
I
one.
had to hear the more audio.
What was your first guess? Wonder Years?
No, I said Grease.
Greece. They were in high school in Greece.
Oh, right.
And I don't think the Greasers were going to college. I could be wrong. I don't think they eventually matriculated. All right, so that was Don. Don gets the point. Paul, you're up. Delta, 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 TV show. Will Randy know a TV show had a sorority or fraternity called Delta, Delta, Delta?
Nah.
Yeah, this is a big no as well.
Okay.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
I kind of remember it was like Delta, 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 milk it, milk it, milk it. Right?
Yes,
That's
yes.
I don't remember what movie that was, though.
TV show.
Oh, that was TV. No, it wasn't Martin or none of them.
No.
Oh, milk it, milk. I should get a point because I know to milk it.
The fact that you, pantomime the milking part, I will give you a point.
Delta, 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 can I help you, help you, help you?
Saturday Night Live. Saturday
I
Night
was getting ready
Live.
to say that.
Yeah. So Paul gets the point. I will give you a point as well, Randy, even though you're not playing the game. All right, here we go, Don. Millennial Match Game brought to you by Rocco's European Garage. This, was this a TV show or a movie? Okay, this sorority or fraternity was in a movie. It was called Delta Psi Beta. Delta Psi Beta. Will Millennial Randy know what movie that's from? Quick
Nope.
no. This is a funny movie. This is a really funny
This is
movie.
funny.
And newer.
Oh, and newer, like
Yeah.
90s newer.
Way
Oh,
newer.
like 2000.
Yeah.
It's not like an old man like me.
Yeah, this is not Animal House.
What's it called?
Delta Psi Beta.
It's a movie,
It's a movie.
and it's a funny movie.
Funny movie.
Where's that? The dude, Where's My Car? Wasn't that recent? No.
Dude, no, that's not the
No,
movie.
no. I wish I could see Mark's eyes when I'm like off. It is so
this
funny.
was Seth Rogen, right? This was a Seth
Oh, Seth, where he got the girl pregnant. Is it that movie?
Yes.
Catherine somebody.
Katherine Heigl.
Oh, what is his? I know it, but I can't think of the name.
Knocked Up?
Oh, there it is.
Say
That's
it, say it.
Knocked on up.
Yeah, no, that's not it though.
Oh, my
Neighbors.
Oh,
Did you see Neighbors?
I did not.
Where Seth Rogen and his wife live next door to a fraternity house.
Oh, yes, and they try to get even. And
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that was
okay.
good. All right, it's good though because Don gets the point, so everyone wins here. All right, Paul, here we go. Tie it up. This TV show fraternity or sorority was called Kappa Lambda Nu. Kappa Lambda Nu. Will Millennial
she might know that one, but I'm going to go no.
You say no. Kappa Lambda Nu.
I've heard it. I have heard that, and I
TV
saw
show.
that show.
Yeah.
I know. Can I ask if it's a black show? Can I ask that?
It's not a Jewish show. I can tell you that much.
Kappa Lambda Nu.
There were occasionally Caucasian characters on this show, on occasion. But yes, predominantly an African-American show.
Different world?
What'd you call it?
A different world.
Randy got it right.
Hey.
Kappa Lambda Nu. Different world, not a Jewish show.
Okay,
Not
no.
a Jewish show. All right, here we go. A Don Millennial Match Game, TV and movie fraternity sororities. This movie had a fraternity called Lambda Epsilon Omega. Lambda Epsilon Omega. Will Randy the Millennial know what movie it's from?
I would say negative.
When in doubt, the Millennial doesn't know. It's a newish movie.
It's a new. I know the Lambda.
It's
They
in
were
the
doing the
2000s.
L. I remember this. The Lambda when they did it. Don't they put up their arm to do it in that movie?
I don't know about that. Lambda Epsilon Omega. This is a white movie.
Oh.
This is a white
American
movie.
Pie.
That is a great guess, but no.
Oh.
Gentlemen, we're discussing a brand new way to look at a fraternity. In other words,
You
you
recognize
need to
his
forget
voice?
about all the normal
Vince
rules that
Vaughn?
apply to both college and
Who is
society.
that?
Because
He
this
is.
is a
the
very
comedian
big
guy.
idea,
Yeah.
my friends. We are talking
Wedding
about
Crashers.
a non-exclusive,
Close.
egalitarian brotherhood.
Old school.
Where community
What else
status,
was he
and more
in?
importantly,
It's old. I
age,
just gave you the name. Old School.
Old School, that's the
name of
name?
the movie.
Oh.
Yeah. With Will Ferrell go streaking in the street?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So point for Don. That is the end of round one of Millennial Match Game. What is the score, Deborah Green?
Don 4, Paul 2.
All right, Paul, you're still in the game, though, buddy. We'll come back and finish up Millennial Match Game, TV and movie fraternities and sororities. I've got one eye on Randy and one eye on the feed as we await President Trump's departure from the hospital and return to the White House. As soon as that occurs, we'll bring it to you live. Hang tight. It's the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB Atlanta's News and Talk. Welcome back. Final segment of Millennial Match Game on the Mark Arum Show, brought to you by Rocco's European Garage. It is TV, movie, fraternities, and sororities. What is the score, and who's up, Deborah Green?
All right, Don's got 4, Paul's got 2. It is Paul's turn.
Paul, here we go. Will Millennial Randy, adorable by the way, will she know what TV show had this fraternity or sorority called Kappa Epsilon Gamma? Kappa Epsilon Gamma. What do you think?
Probably not.
Definitely not. White show. White TV show from the 80s, 90s.
80s, 90s, and it's TV.
Kappa Epsilon
90210.
Holy smoke.
For real?
You should consider a fraternity. Steve, the return of Brenda Walsh is still not enough to drive me into a frat. Wait a second.
That was it? It was because I said white show? That's
Yeah,
what
I
you're
just
doing?
like, what else is popping?
All right, let's see. All right, last one, Don. Lambda, Lambda, Lambda. I know this one. You know this one, but will Millennial Randy know this one? Lambda, Lambda, Lambda.
I'll say no.
Lambda, 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 Randy.
Come on, hit.
Movie.
Movie.
No hands.
A mixed cast. There
Mixed
was
cast
an Asian
movies.
dude.
Hey, Hangover.
It's 29 rejections.
Hangover.
Lambda, lambda, lambda. Yeah, you're gonna love us.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, no.
Revenge of the Nerds. All right, end of Millennial Match Game. What is the final score, Deborah Green?
Don 5, Paul 2.
Don, great win. Sadly, my friend, we do not have a prize to give you this week, but check back in.
What?
Paul, good. I know. I'm so sorry. It's the COVID, man. It's the Rona. Paul, enjoy that commute between Canton and Beaufort tomorrow, my friend. That stinks.
Well, I'll be listening to you.
All right, I appreciate it. That's right. You get triple team traffic every 6 minutes starting at 4:30 a.m. on Atlanta's Morning News with Scott Slade. Randy, plug them podcasts, girl.
Yes, guys, you can listen to my podcast, Black Educated and Broke, and listen to me also on the Power Pod. And shout out to my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Incorporated. Excellent. All right, so we're monitoring Walter Reed, and as soon as the president leaves there and goes back to the White House, we'll bring it to you live. News, weather, and traffic next. Hang tight. This is the Mark Arum Show.
And here, President Trump, dressed in a suit and a mask, walking out the front door there of the Walter Reed Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. We presumed he wanted to make a dramatic exit because they had set up the TV lights there in the last few minutes. Marine One, the helicopter, is on a pad to the rear of the hospital. Propeller's still not moving, but it appears then that they'll take the small presidential motorcade around to the back. He'll board the helicopter there and presumably head back to the White House. The New York Times was reporting just a little while ago that the president was wanting to and or proposing the notion of having some sort of West Wing, not ceremony necessarily, but welcome back home, and that his staff was trying to talk him out of it. We'll see what happens on the other end of this. And so, Mark Arum, you and I narrated the helicopter from the White House to the hospital. This doesn't look like it's going to be nearly as dramatic, but the president's out of the hospital.
Yeah, thankfully not as dramatic, right? That was a tense situation on Friday.
It was a little alarming.
So they are now on a brief motorcade, I don't know, 500-yard motorcade to Marine One on the helipad there. At the Bethesda Naval Base, the hospital there. And then it was less than 10-minute flight last Friday to go from the White House to Walter Reed, and I would assume it's going to be the same flight there. But obviously, as far, Friday, we didn't know what was going on. And the fact, and we'll let the pundits decide whether or not this is the correct move for the president to be going back to the White House or not. But it's certainly promising, right, that at least the doctors felt that he was well enough to go home.
Nobody likes to be in the hospital, right?
No.
Everybody wants to go home as soon as they can, and certainly anybody in a position of leadership wants to show that strength. Certainly he wants to get out of the hospital and back onto the campaign trail. He tweeted he'll be back soon. We're going to find out whether that is physically possible, but he certainly, Mark, walked out under his own steam, gave a thumbs up, shook his fist into the air. No obvious sign of discomfort or distress.
Watching the video feed, and I mentioned it was like a 500-yard drive to the helipad. The press corps had to run it, and I think I've never seen journalists run that fast.
In their good shoes.
They just sprinted over the cameramen and everything to get the pictures there. That was, you don't get into journalism to run.
I could testify to that.
Exactly right. So that was an interesting sight. The rotor's not yet started on Marine One, but it should be momentarily. I'm not sure. We couldn't see who else is getting in the chopper with the president, but he did have a mask as he left the hospital, so he was still wearing a mask there.
One thing kind of going in reverse that can tell us how urgent and unexpected this may have been on Friday. There's a much greater security presence today of Secret Service, military, these motorcades and so forth. Friday, they just essentially took the chopper and landed. There was nobody around. This looks much more like Secret Service military style operation today. There are a lot more people around.
They would just see a video of President Trump getting out of that armored vehicle, and he's now walking into Marine One.
The helicopter.
Just gave a thumbs up to whomever was there. We have the Marine there standing by. With the salute. So the president, I didn't see anyone else get in the chopper. I would think for safety reasons, it would just be him and the pilot in the chopper, right? I mean, he's still contagious. He still has the coronavirus. So I wouldn't think they would pack in a bunch of staffers with him right now.
We will see. So about 10 minutes back to the White House, and we'll see if he makes as grand an entrance there as he's just made an exit from the hospital after something close to 4 days there. We heard from the doctor late this afternoon that they feel he is well enough to go home and continue his treatment at the White House. He's certainly not well, and they haven't dismissed him, but they feel that the facilities there at the White House are now sufficient. In fact, he'll get another dose of remdesivir tonight, and they'll continue to monitor him. But the doctor insists that he has met all the same criteria that you or I or Deb would have to meet to be allowed out of the hospital, that he's not getting any special treatment in that regard.
I'm glad you mentioned the press conference with the doctors, because that happened while I was sleeping. So maybe me and folks at home didn't see the press conference, didn't hear it live. Just a quick recap of what the medical staff said today that allowed this discharge, if you will.
Well, this Dr. Conley has not had the best record over the past few days of coming out straight and believable and saying things that haven't been contradicted 10 minutes later. That said, he said that the president has met all of the criteria for discharge, that his blood pressure is good, that they believe that there's no living virus still in his body, that his heart rate is fine, that his lungs are clear, and that anybody who's met all these same standards will be allowed out of the hospital, and that while the president may have been itching to get out just like any of us was, that per him there wasn't any politics involved, that this was a medical decision. He refused over and over again, though, and this is what a lot of the news coverage is centered on, to tell us the last time that President Trump actually tested negative for the coronavirus. In other words, they just refuse over and over again to say when they might have started to suspect that he had it. There's some dispute over last week whether he should have been traveling around and raising money in New Jersey in particular. He wouldn't get into any of that. And as for the media reports today, multiple outlets saying he was more or less saying, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here, for the reasons we just discussed. The doctor would not comment on what kind of pressure may have been applied inside.
Gotcha.
But he says it was a medical decision.
He's a military doctor, and he does answer to the commander-in-chief,
absolutely,
who happens to be his patient. I saw on social media that the doctor in the press conference today leaned heavily on HIPAA privacy concerns, that he couldn't release some of the information.
Well, it was one of those things where he was chatty until he obviously was asked something he didn't want to get into, and then suddenly invoked HIPAA. Once the president has sent him out there with the permission to give the info, the HIPAA is not.
Is out the window.
Right.
Mark Arum and Chris Chandler here, monitoring live from Bethesda, Maryland at the Walter Reed Medical Center. President Trump discharged from the hospital, took a motorcade to Marine One. They have just started the rotors there on Marine One. A massive helicopter, flying in the WSB Skycopter. It's a great helicopter. It's not Marine One. Marine One is phenomenal. I think he's in there alone just with the pilot, unless there was someone already in there, but I didn't see anyone else get in there, and they should be lifting off shortly, and then a quick less than 10-minute flight to the White House.
And then back home, and we'll see what happens on the other end.
There we go. We have liftoff Marine One off the helipad at Walter Reed Hospital. President Trump officially leaving the ground.
Indeed. So this is kind of reverse the scene we saw the other night, except for a much greater presence of both supporters and protective services on the ground there. He's headed back to a White House, Mark, which has seen a marked increase in the number of positive cases there, including today his press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, two of her top aides, and we're told two of the upstairs housekeeping staff as well. I don't know if there's a medical threshold for the word outbreak. That's one of the things we're going to ask about on our show later. But if he's going back there, surely to goodness they've made precautions for his safety and theirs, too.
I would hope so. And I would like to know the logistics. Maybe this was answered today of where the president, will he be in the residence? Will he be allowed? I wouldn't imagine they'd allow him in the West Wing in the Oval Office because, he is still has COVID-19, right? He is not out of the woods yet. And I would imagine they try to limit his exposure to the rest of the staff that hasn't tested positive.
And that's another very important quote, actually. I'm glad you said that from the doctor this afternoon. He said that the president is, quote, not entirely out of the woods. And that's how he prefaced saying that they felt it was safe enough for him to go home. A couple of our White House correspondents, including Jamie today, said that they were making preparations for him to work upstairs in the residence. But then that becomes a matter of course, he's going to want to go downstairs and check out the Oval Office and all of that. So it's a combination of self-discipline and how much they can keep him upstairs. Nobody likes to be quarantined away.
So today, again, I apologize, Chris, because I sleep during the middle of the day, so I missed all of this. I missed the press conference. The press secretary tests positive. Have we heard any updated tests on the vice president, his wife, and his staff?
Vice President Pence and his wife both tested negative today. They have, whether by previous arrangements or by hasty arrangement to be safe, moved the vice president out of Washington. He's going to go out to Utah for the debate on Wednesday night, so they won't be anywhere in close proximity. Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump are both reported to have tested negative today as well. I haven't heard directly from Joe Biden about that, but I know he was being tested every single day. They did say that for the VP debate on Wednesday night, late this afternoon, word that they're going to have now huge plexiglass shields, like this window between us, not only between Harris and Pence, but between the two of them and the moderator. So that is going to be one of the odder TV shows that we will have seen this campaign season, but probably inevitable now.
So the vice presidential debate, though, is a go for Wednesday.
Yeah, Biden said today he is up for another debate if the scientists say that it's safe. Mm-hmm. And President Trump says he wants to be on the campaign trail, quote unquote, soon. It's really a question. Of course, you want to project strength. But, all of us have gone back to work a day too early in our lives. It's a matter of his physical strength and stamina. We'll just have to see. The next presidential debate is not this week, but next.
15th, correct?
Yeah. So there hasn't been any talk of calling it off, but there hasn't been any talk of going ahead with it either. They could always move them to later. There's still time.
Mark Arum and Chris Chandler monitoring Marine One. It lifted off from the Naval Hospital, going back to the White House now, where the president will take up residency again. coming up at 8 tonight, Chris is going to host a special on what has been a remarkable couple of news days here, Chris.
Goodness me. So, we don't know anymore. Really, you and Doctors Arum and Chandler, we have said. I mean, Lord knows, So we've got a group together. We've got an immunologist. We've got another expert. We've got our political expert, Bill Crane. Jamie's in Washington is going to help us out. Try to sort through all of this. The old joke, what do you call the doctor that got the lowest grade in medical school?
Doctor.
That's it. So, you change the channel today and you get a different medical opinion from each expert on every channel. So we're going to try to break it down. Is this a good idea? Is it too soon? Is, Wolf Blitzer freaking out for no reason? We'll get into all the medical stuff, and then it's inevitable. And especially if he thinks that he's fine, I don't find it distasteful to talk about politics in that case.
Not at all.
So we'll see what it means for the campaign. So we'll get into all that tonight.
And again, this is great news. The president, I mean, I have faith in the medical staff at Walter Reed. They're not going to let him go home if he was, near death, right? So obviously he's making progress, probably still contagious. They got to watch that. But as the good news continues, there will be a period of reflection on, we still need answers. When did the president test positive? Why weren't other folks alerted? The Biden camp found out through the media. The White House staff found out through the media. They didn't get an internal heads up from the White House, the Oval Office, that, hey, the president has been infected if you've been near him. And we'll see. Hopefully we won't see any more infections pop up. But, 3 senators, Chris Christie, the press secretary, Kellyanne Conway. I mean, the list keeps growing on those that have come down with COVID-19.
And it really does seem, and Jamie's noticed this again today, because you can add now a preacher from California to the list of people who've come down positive, who were in that same couple rows there at the Supreme Court nomination ceremony a week ago Saturday. It really looks more and more like that is the events. Who the patient zero is something we may never know, but it looks more and more like that's where this started. And it's just the same as we have seen in various churches across the country or schools.
Weddings.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's just like that. You get one person in a small enclosed space like that, and suddenly there are 20.
And we heard also today from Mitch McConnell that he's still all going forward. With
Indeed. So they said that they would he has resisted changing the rules about voting remotely and so forth, but he says that they'll make special allowances in this case. I mean, politics does indeed continue, even amidst what is still a crisis. Watching Marine One now crossing the Potomac, I have to say I agree with you. This is not nearly as creepy a sight as it seemed the other night.
That was, I was getting a number of texts after the show on Friday where Chris and I basically, we just called play-by-play the president of the United States.
You can hardly believe it.
It was so tense. You didn't know. We caught a sigh of relief when we saw the president walking out on his own accord. But everything was up in the air. We didn't know what was happening. And now hearing from the doctor, things were touch and go. Like, he did receive oxygen.
Right.
He did have a high fever. Right. He was not in the greatest shape Friday when he left the White House. Coming back home, hopefully in better shape. But I just want to urge caution, because as we saw with Herman Cain, our departed coworker and friend, like, we thought he was out of the woods at one point. And we got the thumbs up from him that, hey, I'm on the road to recovery.
Days and a couple of weeks then. And then
yeah. So fingers crossed still, but obviously better news than we were dealing with on Friday.
One media report today is that they were trying to talk him into staying as late as this morning, and he just wasn't having it. But several of the experts we heard from this afternoon say that short of being in an actual ICU unit, you can have pretty much the same treatment in the White House medical unit than you could have there at Walter Reed. It seems, in retrospect now, we didn't find this out for several days, but it was the trouble breathing that really alarmed them Friday and is why they finally did move him. We're watching the helicopter now landing there. This is quite a visual, which you'll have to check out later. It's just exactly the kind of thing a president running for re-election would want you to see, despite the horrible circumstances. Marine One landing on the front lawn there of the White House, declaring victory over a potentially deadly virus, which, according to him, he's doing much better from, is something that, a political consultant or ad maker would concoct, but we're watching it right now.
It's right out of a movie right now. This literally looks like a Jack Ryan movie, right? They're bringing the president and they're dropping him off at the front of the old. I tell you what, a lot of pressure on the helicopter pilot because that is not a big space to land on the front lawn of the White House.
This is not the usual spot. We should
No, exactly. He had to come in and navigate some trees, and it's a tight fit, and they're just about to touch down right now. I'm curious to see if anyone else besides the president gets out of Marine One right now because we only saw him get in, but we're not sure who else was in there when it went to pick him up. Quick trip from Walter Reed to the White House, and the president will be back up in the suite, maybe sleeping in the Lincoln bedroom tonight. You know, they might have to sequester him away from the First Lady and
she's under
else.
quarantine,
yes.
As we know. He's been tweeting this afternoon already, just like nothing ever happened. Well, and early this morning, too, so I'm sure we'll hear from him in one venue or another. We will talk tonight, too, about this is politically a risk because if he gets worse again, this whole spectacle will be turned right back on him.
Mm-hmm. Much like we saw yesterday. I mean, he caught a lot of heat for, especially folks that are fans of the Secret Service when he took the little ride out in front of the hospital to wave, and there were 2 Secret Servicemen in there with him.
Let's listen now to the report direct from the White House lawn.
And he's about to go out on the campaign trail and go
Helicopters
back to the way
on the ground
were. But just about everybody else, not just in the press, but among his staff, people are just petrified that this is getting out of control.
Yeah, it's a really nerve-wracking matter. And some members of the White House press corps have already come down with COVID-19,
That's right? That's right.
Do we know how many?
We believe 3 right now, and Michael Shear of the New York Times is one of them. And as he has been explaining over the last couple of days, nobody from the White House reached out to him to let him know that they were doing contact tracing. So it appears they are not doing the kind of contact tracing that you would expect after a super spreader event inside the White House. And so, yes, Wolf, reporters are getting infected. I just got another COVID test back yesterday. We're all getting tested repeatedly because we're concerned about contracting this virus. And it is just a very serious, dangerous situation for anybody on the grounds here. And I'll tell you, I have my mask in my ear in my pocket right now. Because as soon as I'm done with this live shot, I put my mask back on. That is the way life is over here right now, Wolf. We have to take every precaution at every waking moment as we're on the grounds here. It is just that dangerous and risky being here on the grounds right now.
And you can see the door over there with the American flags on the balcony.
It's Wolf Blitzer and Jim Acosta at the White House. And you folks, if you're driving, we'll see it later. It's a beautiful picture, Mark Arum.
It really is. You see the fountains flowing there. Marine One. It's at dusk now at the front lawn of the White House. Marine One, just a gorgeous helicopter. And we're waiting with this angle, though we might not be able to see the president leaving. But hopefully there's a camera there on the other side of the chopper.
I'm sure that if they could arrange it, there will be. We will see. We will see.
I do see some members of the press on the other side of the chopper, so hopefully we'll get a video angle of that.
And it's not out of the question that he might step right up and speak to them. We'll see.
From
this is Nora O'Donnell speaking.
One where he will enter there on the South Lawn into what is the diplomatic room where you saw him post that video, if you recall, on Friday night. And that looks like, yes, the president has walked the stairs. That is not the Truman balcony. That is just outside the Blue Room, right. Removing his mask. And Major, that's the shot that the president wants for the front page of the newspapers.
That is the shot the president wants. That is perfectly timed, I think he would say, as someone experienced in network television. Just coming up on 7 o'clock Eastern Time, fully filling the allotted half hour for network news. That, again, is not a criticism. It is just an observation, and it is an acknowledgement of this president's unique sense of this medium, of the presidency within it, and his ability and his willingness and his desire to project strength and confidence.
Major Garrett, thank you. And there, the reality TV president who became famous through Apprentice and around the world has now scripted the last 30 minutes of broadcast television. with a return from 3 days at the nation's premier military medical center, Walter Reed, and returning now to the White House. Our coverage will continue on our 24-hour streaming network.
That is Nora O'Donnell, the president, now saluting someone.
I mean, it literally couldn't make a better movie scene that we're seeing right now. I mean, he is standing on the portico. I don't know what that's called, in front of the White House there with 4 American flags on his side. He got up to the stairs, walked up the stairs, took off his mask, and now he salutes as Marine One leaves the front lawn of the White House. And I think we might be able to see some video of him deplaning and whether or not he talked to any of the reporters there or not. But Marine One is lifting off. Again, a tight fit there, getting out of the White House grounds. And the president standing there watching, salutes again.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing for you folks listening, and we'll see this on TV later. That's for picture. Who's he saluting? There's no one there.
The pilot?
He was doing it again after the helicopter was gone.
Yeah. Now he's
like
waving.
Major Garrett was saying, it's the dude knows how to work a room and he knows his showbiz.
He does, and now he's walking back into the White. But he still has the mask off, and he's walking back into the White House. That's probably not well advised. But we see other folks now going into the White House. I did not see anyone else get off Marine One, but the president. But he's home. The president is now home. And hopefully a speedy recovery.
All right, we'll continue here in a moment. It's 7 o'clock at WSB.
The Mark Arum Show is performed before a live studio audience.
No, I run this town to be near you. I stand alone. I stand alone.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday Eve to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 7:08, 8 minutes after 7 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, heard Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Following a week of a substitute teacher, the whole gang is back tonight. Deborah Green produces the show. Longoria back from vacation on the other side of the takeout window. Low T Chuck screens them calls. I will continue to monitor the situation at the White House. I'm looking at video now of President Trump standing there in front of the White House saluting Marine One as he left. Picture-perfect landing, return. My only critique was he took the mask off for the pictures and then didn't put the mask back on as he walked into the White House. So hopefully he's remedied that, but certainly good news there from the White House. Chris Chandler's going to be up in an hour and do a special on the coronavirus and what we've witnessed the last 4 or 5 days. Craziness, just craziness. When every time you think that 2020 can't get crazier, it gets a little crazier. So that's coming up at 8 in 30 minutes. Johnny Kielbasa will join us with a fast food review and a football minute. That being said, welcome back, Longoria, the stoic one.
Thank you.
We missed you, buddy. I mean, Jason Byers did a great job, but there's only one stoic Eskimo. How was your vacation? Give us an update.
It was nice. We got there on Wednesday. We just went up to the North Georgia mountains and rented a cabin and left Sunday.
That didn't look like a cabin, man. That looked like that was a really cool. What
nice.
Was that?
It just has a lot of wood.
Yeah, just a lot of wood. They call it a cabin because it's in the woods and in the middle of
that was like
mountains.
a wood. Really nice house. That was not like I think cabin. I think like Little House
Modern
on the Prairie.
Right.
Or,
not my kind of cabin.
Right.
The
Not
Revenant.
Montana cabin.
Yeah, no. But that was really.
Yeah,
So
it was
what
nice.
did
My
you
mom
guys-
said the same thing. She goes, the cabins we used to stay in just had a cot in them.
Yeah, exactly.
And a screen.
Cabin is a looser interpretation of word there. Well, so what did you guys do? I saw a couple of pictures, but
the girls. We've been there before. We went to Helen, but we didn't really do a lot of stuff. You know, there's a gym mining where they give you buckets of sand and you sift through them, and they
nice.
pull out really nice rocks for the kids, and
Yeah.
you pay for them and all that kind of stuff. We did that. My daughter both of them got on that little roller coaster. There's a mountain roller coaster that's
Nice.
there. We just went when there was like the least amount of people that
they
were
didn't
there.
freak out. They were good on it.
Yeah. The youngest one was scared the first day. She didn't want to get on. But
Yeah.
then the second day, she was like, I want to go on. And we're like, all right, cool. So we took them back.
Girls got so big, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen them since before the pandemic. They've each grown like 6 inches.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And they really like the hot tub. They think it's a little mini swimming pool.
Oh,
so
that's not
they
good.
just
That's
sat
not
in there.
good. You got to keep your girls out of the hot tub and off the pole.
Yes,
That's your job.
that is true.
As your dad. Well, it's good to have you back. Chuck, any highlights from the weekend?
No, not really.
All right. I didn't think so.
No,
You're
just I got
eating
listen,
hot dogs,
man,
drinking beer.
That 3-month-old is just crushing my soul.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot goes on.
Understood. Jackson, Abernathy,
Yeah.
Haynesbridge.
Yeah.
Thomas the third.
He's the worst.
All right. Deborah, any highlights from the weekend?
Nothing too crazy. I was here. I taught dance lessons. I did a bunch of baking. The
I
usual
did. I
weekends.
did one of those dance lessons. Thank you.
Yes.
I learned a lot. I had a really. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I had a pretty cool thing on Saturday. Friends of ours held a little gathering at their house. There was 6 of us, 5 of us, 6 of us, and it was a. Do you drink hard seltzer, Chuck?
No.
No. Have you tried it? You know what it is, though, right? Yeah. Deborah.
I just knew that was a hard no.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, he drinks, so I figured.
No way.
Yeah. Have
No
you
way.
sampled it? Like.
Yeah.
All right. So apparently it's the rage. Like it's the rage right now. I'd never had it before. This is the first time. So my buddy set up a seltzer tasting. So I know it's pretty funny. No, but let me finish. So he got good like small batch seltzers. You know, there's small batch IPAs and stuff like that. So he didn't get like the Bud Light one. You know, he got these fancy, and there's 24 of them that he got, and he got those little white like mouthwash cups.
Yeah.
And we did a blind tasting of 24 of these hard seltzers, and we had to. It was a game. It was actually really fun, and we'd write down on a scale of 1 to 5 the aroma and the taste, and then we had to guess what the flavor was, which sounds easy. I got 3 out of the 24 flavors right.
That was it?
That was it. It's just so weird. And like the best person had like 5. It's so weird that if you don't know what you're drinking, like you recognize the taste, but you can't put it together unless you're looking at the can.
Right.
I was so off on some of them. Like one of them, I was like, "Oh, that's lime. You know, that's definitely a lime." And it was like cranberry. You know, like it was. But it was. And I got buzzed, by the way. Like 24 little. Yeah, that's. It was a fun time. I
believe you.
Yeah, but it's weird the blind taste test.
Well, because when you do that with like a bourbon, there's subtleties, but you know you're drinking bourbon.
Yeah.
This is different. It could be grape, it could be cherry, but when you can't look at it, you're right. It's hard to tell, and they're all artificial flavors. So
some of the guesses from somebody that like the other people were more creative with their guesses. One of the girls guessed what the taste was, the flavor. She said mouth.
What?
Yeah,
I
like
think she was too buzzed at that point.
No, it was like dirty mouth, and like it was like they had like all these like crazy. I was just like lime or herb. I said herb was one of them.
That's not.
No, I know, but it was funny. But I only got 3 out of 24 right, and some were really simple. Like one, I said I guess grape, and it was apple. Like, which don't taste anything alike.
No, you're right.
But when I didn't know, it's just...
You go on visual cues a lot for what you think you taste.
And most of them were clear, too, so there's no color to say, oh, what was this? What's going on in there?
I have no idea.
You all right, Longoria? They're vacuuming? All right, so I just wanted to mention that. I thought it was really fun. I think it was a great, get-together thing. And we were socially distanced and we wore masks, except we were drinking and everything. And there was food, too, but it was a good time. Here's something I want to talk about. And I'm not going to mention any names, but I found out a friend of a friend of a friend, whatever. I'm trying to distance myself to what's going on with this situation. She's been going through some tough times in her life, whatever, and had to get a job just to basically get custody of her kids. Like she hadn't had a job, whatever, and so she got I would say an entry-level job at like a mid-level restaurant. Okay. Not even like she's not a waitress. It's like a takeout place, not fast food, but you know what I'm saying, like a place where they sell salads, like
sure.
So anyway, she got the job, and then they closed the location. Like the job was like 5 minutes from her house, and then they closed the location, but they offered her another job at their other location that was 45 minutes away.
Right.
And she took it.
Okay.
What for not a lot of money, right? Like,
right.
I don't understand. And it goes back to that other caller we had that lives in Canton and commutes to Beaufort every day. Like, at what point does the money not make sense to do? I know this might be the traffic guy in me asking this. Like, I don't know if she's making. Let's say she's making $12 an hour at this job. That's probably what I would guess she'd make. Would you drive 45 minutes for a $12 an hour part-time job?
I mean, probably not, but it also depends on what time of day you're going and how much you need it. Like if she needs this for something besides money, to legal
But she
reasons.
could. What my theory is, like, you can get a job closer to your house that pays $12 an hour.
But maybe she couldn't. That's the thing.
No,
Like,
she definitely could. Like 100%. I don't. It's like the scene in Good Will Hunting where Will Hunting takes the train for an hour to go clean the floors at MIT, and his psychiatrist Robin Williams is like, you could be a janitor, 5 minutes from your house. You do this on purpose. Like you're taking the train so you could be at MIT. I can't imagine that this woman is doing the same thing. Is there's got to be a tipping point, right, where the commute is too far for the money?
Well, yeah. I mean, this job, if I lived an hour out, I would find another job. I'm not going to drive an hour and 45 minutes to this
you
job.
do so little.
I'm not driving an hour and 45 minutes.
You do, well, that's crazy. An hour 45
but
is
I'm
crazy.
saying that you're right. There is.
Yeah.
At some point, you don't want to be in the car for a job no matter what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drive for 2 hours. So hers isn't 45 minutes. If it was an hour, maybe she would.
But it's not like she has specific skills like, oh, she's a salad maker, so she has to, work at this one salad joint. Like, it wasn't like...
Maybe she just wants to take the drive. Maybe she doesn't care that much.
Maybe she doesn't want to look for another job. Like, she already had, they offered it to her. She's like, I don't want to have to go through the whole process of doing all this stuff.
I know we don't
liked
understand
the people. I don't know.
I didn't understand.
What kind of restaurant is it?
It's like, pick a food.
Does she get to eat the food there? Maybe she likes the food.
Like all right, so it's a pizza place.
All right, maybe she likes the pizza.
All right,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't have an answer either. I just know that if I was in that position,
I wouldn't.
I would find a job closer. There's got to be a
100%.
tipping point when the commute is not worth the money.
Well, my friend that used to work for Glock, he stopped working for him because he couldn't take the commute anymore. It was too far.
Exactly right.
It was crushing his soul. He's like, I love this job, and I cannot make this commute anymore.
It's soul crushing.
Yeah.
That's the tipping point. Like, I love my job, and I do well. I'm 7 minutes door to door in the morning, right? As much as I love this job, I'm not commuting an hour and a half for it.
Right. That's what I mean.
That's the tipping point. Probably way less than that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would commute
You just
40
think the tipping point for her should be like 15 minutes, not 45.
For $12 an hour,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
They're, like that other guy, obviously he likes his job, and it's worth the commute to go between Canton and Buford, which is like, oh my God. And that's not even an interstate. Like, it's back roads. You don't know what's going to happen.
Even through those two lanes.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. What do you think, Longoria?
Well, it takes me 45 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you have to. There's no radio station 3 minutes from your house where you can.
Well, that's true.
This is.
But I could move closer if I wanted to.
If you were smart.
Could you though? Because it's not that easy to move
No,
closer.
100%,
Like I've tried to move closer. I can't
100%.
afford it, or I can't find something.
For you guys, it's different because you have specific skills that can only be used at a radio station. Not that you don't have other skills, but for this job,
I got you.
There's not, Deborah, there's not a radio station within 5 minutes of your house that you could do the same gig.
There's some podcasting things I could look into.
Good luck with that. So I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting. Your thoughts on that, and what is the tipping point where the commute is not worth the job? 404-872-0750. 1-800-WSB Talk on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. Waiting to see if the president makes a statement at the White House or tweets something. And at 8 o'clock, a special COVID-19 special with our buddy Chris Chandler. So much to get through tonight. It's the Mark Arum Show, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Welcome back to the show, 725, 70 degrees on Peachtree Street. 6, we'll call it a 6 on the market. I'm digging the weather, man. How's the weather in the North Georgia mountains there, Longoria? We were all sweatshirted up. And...
Oh, nice, yeah. I was wearing shorts and a sweatshirt. It was the best weather ever.
Perfect outfit. He loves that. I love my commute because it's 7 minutes. I think there's a tipping point, though, where as much as I love my job, I don't think I'd commute an hour and 30 minutes to do this gig. I just don't think. What's the tipping point for you when it comes to job and travel? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Harris joins us in Marietta. Harris, welcome to the show.
Hi. So I'm a welder, and I drive about an hour in good traffic.
Mm-hmm.
But the money I make is, I would probably drive 2 hours.
The money makes it worth it.
Yes, very much so.
Now, is there a possibility that you could get a welding job closer to your house? Would that be attractive to you?
Yeah, it would. I'm also just lazy.
Well, obviously not if you're driving an hour. That's not lazy. I mean, that's work right there.
But it's just there's where I live. There's not a ton of jobs around there in the welding. I live in East Cobb, and I drive to Lilburn.
Okay. I mean, that's not great, but it could be worse. I could see that. Like, if I had to do that for my job, I would do it. Like, the money, I like the job, and the money's worth it for me to go from East Cobb to Lilburn. So, all right, so it's the money for him, and he'd double the trip time, which is pretty amazing. John's in Flowery Branch. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
What's up, buddy?
I drive 4,000 to 5,000 miles a month. I'm in construction, and I'm all over town, north, south, east, west, whatever. And a lot of times I'll drive maybe an hour or 2 hours to do 10 minutes worth of work, and
So
I drive to.
It's not a set commute, though. It's not a set commute. Like it differs all the time. Yeah.
It's different every day, but my wrist gets sore from holding the wheel. If you can believe it.
I totally. This is how bad a shape I am. My thumb hurts from using scissors over the weekend. Like that, my thumb is killing me because I used.
How much cutting were you
doing? I did a lot of cutting, but my thumb is like sore now from. Anyway, all right, we'll continue to take your calls. What's the tipping point when it comes to commute time and your job? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. When we come back, your calls and Johnny Kielbasa with the Fast Food Review and the Football Minute next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, this is former Governor of Texas, Rick Perry, and you're listening to the Mark Arum Show.
7:30, 6:24 in front, 8 o'clock. Mark Arum and the Bananas at your beck and call till 8 in the p.m. Monday through Friday. Don't forget, you can listen to the show at home via Amazon Alexa, Google Play, or the good old WSB radio app. Coming up in 30 minutes, Chris Chandler's going to do a special COVID-19 special, a deep dive into the medical angle of what President Trump's been going through, and hopefully we get him a speedy recovery. He's back now at the White House, as you heard here live on WSB. Johnny Kielbasa is going to join us in just a minute with a fast food review. Just talking about, I don't even know this person. I've never met this person. But she drives 45 minutes for a job that she doesn't need to drive 45 minutes for. Like, she can get the same paying job at a similar establishment closer to her home. I just don't get that. What's the tipping point for you when it comes to travel time and your job? And I understand, listen, it's COVID-19. Jobs are scarce right now. Thankfully, the unemployment rate in Georgia coming down. So I know it's extraordinary circumstances, but this woman could definitely get a job closer to her house making the same amount of money. I don't get that. What is your tipping point when it comes to travel for your job? David is in Woodstock. David, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
Howdy, sir.
What's up, brother?
Hey, I've got a couple of quick points, but I'll be real quick. The first one is referring to the guy that I think he was your first caller that goes from Canton to Buford. To be honest with you, that top-end drive is not as bad, and I'm going to tell you why. My fiance and I got together, and she needed to get a different job. At that time, we lived in Canton, and her job was in Alpharetta, and so I was like, oh, my God, what a mess. But actually, going through the top side like that, not using the interstates is not that bad, and what's best about it is that it's totally predictable.
Is it though?
Just a handful of times. Yeah. You'd hit some traffic that might cost you 15 minutes, but that's like a handful of 4 or 5 times over the course of a couple of years. You realize if you drive up 75, you're going to do that every 2 weeks.
Yeah, understood. But to Alpharetta is not bad, but put on another, to go all the way to Beaufort from Alpharetta as well. That guy wishes they built that northern arc that they were supposed to build, that northern arc that they
absolutely
never got past.
It's a little extra, but those back roads are more predictable, and less frequently you get bottlenecked for a shorter period of time.
Understood.
Whereas if you're going 75, 285, 85, you're going to get screwed at least every week or two.
You never know what you're going to get.
Right. I mean, yeah, me personally, my tipping point is if I have to go farther than the bedroom to my couch, I better be making a lot of money.
The old truck commute, which is right. Yeah, I think that, and that's one thing I tell. Again, I know we're in a pandemic now, and all bets are off. But when I talk to kids in college that are trying to get into this business, for some reason they still want me to talk to kids for advice on a first job. I always say, because if you're out of college, most people haven't purchased a home yet. You're going to live in an apartment, whatever. I was like, get a place as close to your job as you can, whatever you can do, because your life will be so much better. You might have to pay a little more in rent, but if you get that first job out of college, you've got to be on time. You just got to be on time. And if you're driving from Canton to Buford, there are going to be some mornings that you're not going to get there on time. So that's the thing. I know it's different now as adults. You can't sell your house, Deb, in Alpharetta and move into the city.
Not that quickly.
Exactly.
And it'd be a lot smaller and more
sure,
expensive.
100%, 100%. But as a kid, right out of college, you're more.
You'll live anywhere.
Basically, exactly. Mac's in Decatur. Mac, welcome to the show, buddy. What's going on?
How's it going, guys? How you doing, Deb?
Very good, thank you.
She's doing great.
Everybody gives a shout out to everybody, and I wanted to be sure I gave one to Deb.
I love it.
So my wife and I are both in education, and my wife's commute is a quarter of a mile, and I work at Georgia Tech and live in Decatur, and I travel 6 miles from driveway to parking space, all residential roads. And I say over and over again that it feels as though I'm making an extra $5,000 to $10,000 not to have the commute.
There is a trade-off there for sure, and a beneficial trade-off.
It's a huge trade-off, yeah. And because I get to spend more time with my family, and having had younger kids, they're not young now, but being able to, my wife has to be there for those kindergartners every day early, and I had a little more flexibility, and not having a commute really made it so much better for me. I had the flexibility not to have to leave so early.
Yeah. The good news for a lot of folks right now, too, Mac, is there is no commute, right? Like my wife doesn't drive to school anymore. Like she teaches in our dining room, which had never been used before, by the way. So right now it might not be an issue, but when the economy comes back and folks go back to work, it will be an issue again. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK.
And now, on the Mark Arum Show, it's time for the Fast Food Review.
Joining us live on the Greasy Salty Hotline from parts unknown, height unknown, weight, oof, we do not want to know. Johnny Kielbasa in the ever so popular Fast Food Review. How you doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing great, Mark Arum. I really enjoy commuting from the drive-thrus, through the phone lines, through the internet to see you a couple of days a week, baby.
My man. Happy Monday, Johnny. What's on the menu tonight, my friend?
The Grand Stacker at Taco Bell's back, Mark. It's been around before. It's coming back around again. This is a great example of how Taco Bell can take 2 or 3 or 4 things, mix them all together, fold them up this way, fold them up that way, put a name on it, and say, hey, we've got something new there. Old stuff, new format, a little new calculus or trigonometry. I'm not sure what you do there, but you got your seasoned beef. They're going to give you a double shot of seasoned beef. You get your 3-cheese blend. Don't ask which 3 cheeses those are because it doesn't matter. And then you got nacho cheese sauce to mix it all up with. So then you take your big old, is that a burrito thing? I guess it is. And then you put everything in the middle of it, and then you fold it in half, and then you fold it in half again. So it kind of looks like a piece of pizza. And on the commercials, it looks really cool because the beef and the cheese are all mushing out the back of it. Like, oh, man, that thing's full of beef and cheese. But in reality, most of the time, if you get the people with the ice cream scoop in that beef back there and they just chuck a couple scoops right in the middle of it and they don't fold it up right, you're going to end up with probably a couple bites worth of nothing but tortilla on the back end. So,
Johnny, what's the name of this? What is the name of this?
Grande Stacker.
I've never heard of this. Let me Google this, see what it looks like.
Grand Stacker. It looks really good in pictures, Mark.
Oh, hells yeah. You see this, Deborah Green? This is just like your grandmother used to make. Look at that.
I don't even know what that is.
That's like a triple quesadilla.
Oh, wow. Deb doesn't like it. What do you know?
I'm hitting that on the way home, Johnny K. Thank you for that. The Grande Stacker.
Mark, do us a favor and take a picture of the actual grand stacker you get so people can compare the reality.
No one wants to see that.
Yeah, do that.
I mean, what's not to like, Deborah? Beef and cheeses?
I said I don't know what it is. I just looking at that
It's a grande
photo.
stacker. That looks...
It's beef. It's a quesadilla.
Yeah, triple stack quesadilla is basically what it is.
It's like a big pita.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just
A
call
big
it
what?
that?
P what?
Looks like a pita.
Oh,
You know, like-
pita. That's not the P word I thought you used.
Jeez,
I was like,
Louise.
wow, if that's what that looks like to you, Chuck, we're gonna talk.
You are inappropriate.
Let's hit the football minute there. Longoria. Johnny Kielbasa does as he does every Monday, is recaps the weekend in pigskin with a 60-second Johnny Kielbasa football minute. Let's hear what we missed in the week of football.
Give me some of that 10-yard fight. Omaha. Longo pick up that blitz coming off the edge. Week 4 in the NFL. No ranking is safe. Week in college. Wear a mask. Week in America. Your downtown Panthers rolled out a school record 35-point first half as they swashbuckled the Pirates. Your upper Oconee Bulldogs sick them at home. The long and windy road for Stetson Bennett leads to your Shrubs. Nothing like a trip to Vandy for some rehab. For the Bayou Bengals, nothing like a trip to Ames, Iowa to make the Sooners feel like Laters. Nothing like a trip to wherever the hell Tulane is for UCF's dreams to die. The Nick Tater, 19-0 versus former assistants, and roll damn tide, and the Aggies combined for 994 yards of total offense. Houston's 0-4. See you, Bill O'Brien. Buffalo's 4-0. They're the best team in New York. Yes, in fact, they're the only team in New York that's won a game this year. America's team, Cleveland Browns, ran it up against the Cowpokes. Then they let them come back a little so Jared could have something to feel good about. Mark Arum's New York Football Giants are only 2 wins away from being atop the NFC East, and a post-game brawl over pregnant sisters was the big news of the day. Improvised doubleheader tonight. Brian Hoyer likes an upset, and your Magic City Dirty Birds will try to play 4 quarters against the Cheese Balls on the M&M.
Johnny Kielbasa, the fast food and the football minute. I know people don't like when I talk about fantasy football, and I get it. I don't like when other people talk about fantasy football, but
I love talking about it.
I had freaking Nick Chubb on every team. Unbelievable.
Oh, me too.
And the sad thing is, so my big money league, I have both Nick Chubb and Hunt, both of the Cleveland running backs. And I sat Hunt this week and started Wilson from San Francisco because it's a touchdown-only league. I'm like, who knows what's going to... And son of a biscuit, Hunt scores twice. I'm going to lose because of that. I have Nick Chubb everywhere. I hate fantasy football.
You're going to lose in my league and in Jay Black's league?
No, I won in Jay Black's league.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Look, I got a player tonight.
Am I playing you?
Yes.
Hold on.
If he gets 11, if Gurley gets 11.
Oh, yeah. Gurley's not getting 11.
Oh, come on.
They're going to have to pass the whole game.
Well,
they're going to be down. Yeah, no, that's a win.
If he gets 11, that's tie.
That's a win.
I'm blowing you out in our league.
Your league doesn't count.
Only the ones where Mark's. Only the ones where he's winning does it count.
Yeah, of course it doesn't.
That doesn't count.
You're also losing heavily in my league, Mark.
But this happened last year.
That's because I sat Beckham like an idiot in your league, Johnny.
This happened last year. We played each other in both of our leagues on the same
really?
week. Yeah.
Scheduling quirk.
Cool. I don't schedule
collusion.
Yeah. I feel because I love Nick Chubb so much, so I feel like a Cleveland Browns fan by osmosis because of hanging out with Johnny Kielbasa for 20 years and Nick Chubb and son of a biscuit. Like, that sucks. He'll be gone for 6 weeks. But thankfully, I do have Kareem Hunt. Oh, there was one fast food story here, Deborah Green, you pulled up.
Burger King chicken?
Yeah, tell Johnny about that. I'm sure he knows about it.
I'm sure Johnny knows about it. So there's inklings that Burger King is making a hand-breaded crispy chicken sandwich. What do you know, Johnny?
Well, my sources say that they've been working on this for a long time because they're late to the party on the thing that Popeyes got early to the party too. And why do they do that? Because they've got the best chicken sandwich ever in the original chicken sandwich.
Exactly.
I don't know why they're going to mess with that. But hey, Mark and Deb, I will keep my pencil sharpened and I'll keep my ears to the ground with any developing stories on that front.
Yeah, I saw an Instagram ad or a Facebook ad or something for Popeyes. They now have chocolate-filled beignets. Holy smokes! Give me two of those and a Popeyes chicken sandwich, and I'm good to go. You know that, Johnny.
Me too.
K. All right,
Yeah.
Johnny K. We appreciate you as always, and
if the cholesterol is high, baby, so am I. Johnny Kielbasa on Twitter, Johnny Kielbasa Rocks on Instagram, and listen to the Sausage Hut podcast on any pod app or JohnnyKielbasa.com.
All right, I want the Falcons to win today, but Todd Gurley to get 3 carries, 5 yards, no touchdowns. That's what I need.
You
Johnny
got
K.
it.
Thank you, buddy.
Sounds good.
Johnny's going to pray to the football gods. All right, we'll come back. One more segment. 404-872-0750. 1-800-WSB-TALK. This is The Mark Arum Show.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Final segment of the Monday edition of the Mark Arum Show. A little breaking news mixed in. Chris Chandler coming up today with a special on COVID-19 and the presidential's health. We'll have complete coverage of the president and his diagnosis and hopeful recovery starting tomorrow morning at Atlanta's Morning News with Scott Slade at 4:30 a.m. Tamara is in Grayson, Georgia. Tamara, welcome to the Mark Arum Show. How are you?
I'm great, Mark. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I just wanted to talk about the commute thing. So I live in Grayson, and I work for a nonprofit that's located in Roswell. So it's a good 32, 33 miles from my house, which takes, on a good day, an hour to get there and an hour and a half to get home.
Now, what's your, I mean, not to get all traffic nerd on you, but what's your normal route? How do you get there?
A lot of times I'll cut through Snellville and Johns Creek, so like Ronald Reagan to Pleasant Hill and cut across that way.
Okay.
But I don't usually do interstates except maybe on a Friday, but thankfully, like you were saying earlier, the pandemic, I don't have to go in the office right now, but it's a job that I love, so I would do it if it even took me longer to get there.
Have you ever had the conversation, whether with yourself or your family, that you love the job so much, but the drive is a little too long? Maybe you thought about moving closer to the workplace?
Oh, it's funny, actually, because my boss lives 4 miles from our office. So, he suggests all the time that I should move to Roswell. But we love where we live. Grayson has, I don't know, I've got a huge backyard and backs up to a horse farm. So
that's all right. All right. So if Longoria and I went to Grayson and you took us out to dinner, where are you taking us to eat in Grayson?
That's the tough one, though, I have to tell you.
The dining
We had
options?
a great little restaurant called Graft, and it closed right before the pandemic, and it broke my heart because it was awesome. But there's not a lot. Maybe for Mexican, actually. There's a couple of good Mexican restaurants.
There you go. Longoria loves the Mexican
All
food.
right, cool.
Well, Tamara, thanks for sharing your story. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a great night, guys.
You too. What was the best thing you ate this weekend? What was the food like up there in the North Georgia mountains?
I don't know. I made everything. I barbecued every night.
Oh, sweet.
Burgers and hot dogs one night, steaks the other night, and fajitas the other night.
Fajitas. All right. So you did. It's so funny. So Sanjay has a mountain cabin now, and him and his wife are trying to get Maya and me to go up there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like separately, Sanjay and I were outside at his house. And I was like, what's the food situation up there? And he's like, oh, we cook mostly, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. And he goes, there's a small town. There's a pizza place, whatever.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, Maya comes out. And her first question to Sanjay is, what's the food situation? Nothing like the view, nothing about the cabin. Maya's first question to Sanjay was like, if we're going to come up there, we need to know what's going on with the food.
Yeah, I mean, Helen has some good places, but
the kids.
Yeah, for the kid. We went, Lily wanted Domino's pizza one night, so we drove 20 minutes to go get her Domino's pizza. But the other nights I cooked.
You're almost a good dad. Now, next part is just let them in your room once in a while.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen? That's so weird to me. Let's two-star the show.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum star of the show?
2 stars of the show tonight. One for Randy playing Millennial Match Game, and one for the Stoic one for returning from vacation. We didn't think you were coming back, buddy. We did not.
I almost didn't. I mean, to be honest with you, we were thinking about buying something.
I know, exactly. Tomorrow on the show, it's Little Sanjay, the aforementioned Little Sanjay with Would You Rather, and Deborah Green's cooking up something for the second hour. She likes to get in the kitchen and cook stuff up. We will continue the conversation on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum, Facebook Mark Arum WSB. Normally I tell you to go to sleep, little baby, but stay up. Chris Chandler's special episode of Chris Chandler Does the News. What are we calling this thing? COVID-19 special?
Sure.
It's awesome. Stay with us, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Guests of the Mark Arum Show stay at the All-Suite Omni Hotel, located in the heart of Chicago's Magnificent Mile. 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 Chicago's